We're almost halfway through the year, and a lot of people are running on empty without fully realizing it. Grow Therapy helps you find care that's covered by insurance before burnout becomes the baseline. Whether it's your first time in therapy or your 50th, Grow makes it easier to find a therapist who fits you, not the other way around. They connect you with thousands of independent licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions, nights and weekends. You can search by what matters, like insurance, specialty, identity, or availability, and get started in as little as 2 days. And if something comes up, you can cancel up to 24 hours in advance at no cost. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Grow helps you find therapy on your time. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Grow accepts over 100 insurance plans, including Medicaid in some states. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/booknow to get started. That's growtherapy.com/booknow. growtherapy.com/booknow. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Looking for the best place to shop this Mother's Day? Go with the brand that makes it easy to send something thoughtful to everyone on your list. 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now at 1-800-Flowers, order 1 dozen roses and get another dozen free. More flowers mean more smiles, all backed by the quality, attention to detail, and trusted delivery experience that make 1-800-Flowers my top choice to send something beautiful Mom will love. Make Mom's Day at 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Hey, this is Lou Mangello from WDW Radio, and you're listening to the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. Let's do this.
The tangents this week continue all the way to episode 527 of the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. She won't be coming down here with a spray. She'll be coming down here with a shovel. Happened to my brother. Split him right down the middle. Now I have 2 half brothers. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. So glad you joined us. Let's start off like a record with Virtual Table and see who joined us this week.
This is Brittany Bangle.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Hopefully, everybody who's been in the path of Mother Nature in the last 4 or 5 days is doing okay. I've had to take shelter twice in the last 5 days, 4 days.
That sounds about right from the messenger chats. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Including last night at like 11 o'clock at night.
Woken up from a sound sleep, no less.
Yes. Like the weather alert on my phone went off first, and I listened, and I did not hear the sirens. So I was like, "Well, the sirens aren't going off." And Chauncey was up; he was downstairs working. I was like, "If it's serious, he'll come and get me." And like, probably not even 10 minutes later, here he comes. Like, Rachel, we need to take cover, and I'm like, "Okay." Rolling out of bed, going downstairs. It's like the best place for us to take cover is a half bathroom that's right off of the kitchen. So it's just like Chauncey and I, half bath, little hallway, the alcove that holds our washer and dryer, and we're just kind of sitting there, and he's got some weather tracker who's live streaming on his phone. I've got one of the local news channels up on my phone. Lights flickered a few times, and then they were like, "Okay, the warning's over for this part." And I was like, "Okay, I'm going back to bed now." But yeah, did not have any confirmed tornadoes in my specific area, but it was heavy enough winds that a local high school did have some damage, so that they had to be closed today and do e-learning for their students because they got roof damage, and then to make sure that nothing was leaking. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a fun last couple since Friday, really. So I worked 3 sporting events last week, and the last one was last Friday, and I just had gotten there and was waiting for them to set up the the table and stuff for the tickets, and the sky was looking kind of dark,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not anything usual for this time of year.
Right.
For it to
Mhm.
look like the gates of hell have just opened and like nothing will happen.
Mhm.
Um,
Or you might get some visits from some demigorgons from the upside down.
yeah, sometimes it just looks like we are in Indiana, so it just looks like an episode of Stranger Things outside. Sometimes we're
Mhm.
used to it. But all of a sudden the wind just like picked up and it was blowing dirt everywhere to the
Then you
point
know
where
it's bad.
I was having to cover, like I was like trying to run and get inside and try to cover my eyes so that it wouldn't get in my face and I couldn't see where I was going because I was not at the school I work at. I was at one of the where they have our baseball and softball fields are at one of our elementary schools or near one of
Okay.
our elementary schools, and thankfully there were still people in elementary school
That could let you guys in.
that could let us in because they still had kids that still needed to get picked up. So we spent the
Right.
next hour inside this elementary school kicking it old school, sitting in the hallway with our backs against the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Which I'm
because
pretty
I'm
sure
assuming your
most
badge.
I'm pretty sure
Assuming your badge
most
wouldn't let you
of the
into other buildings.
yeah. I'm pretty sure most of our players had no idea like
What was
how
going
much
on?
nostalgia that meant
Mm-hmm.
to be, lining up in the hallway.
Yep.
Because like when we have tornado drills at school, that's not what we do. We have rooms that we go to. We have designated safe spaces to go to. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
none of that's
Yeah.
going to the hallway, sit on your butt back against the wall, head between your
Head
knees type
down.
of thing.
Right. Yeah. Back
you
back in the old days. Or make sure you grab a textbook too to put on top of
yeah.
top of your head and do the same thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, those
Kids
were the
these
good
days,
old
they don't know
days.
how good they've got it.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Now you have designated safe spaces with sturdy walls and doors and that you could lock
Mm.
and stuff. Back in my day, we
Yep.
just sat in the hallway and hoped that the roof didn't get ripped off the building.
Exactly. Yep. Uh-huh. Yep.
So, yay!
I think the
But
three I think the three of us are of that age.
yes.
Mhm.
Well, good news is it did clear up eventually enough that the softball game was able to go on, and
Yay!
I got to work and I got paid. So
Yay!
yay! But now we are back to our usual shenanigans, and hopefully
Yes.
the weather stays clear, at least for while we do this.
Yep.
So we gotta do some news. Mostly it's teaser/trailer news, which is always a good thing because these all made me very happy.
And it's
Which
getting
is
closer for certain things.
yes, it is. So summer's still far away, but some are getting closer. So
Mhm.
we got a teaser slash date announcement for Spaceball, plus a proper title announcement for the new Spaceballs movie. Thanks to Mel Brooks, it is not going to be Spaceballs: A Search for More Money because he found the money in his basement. Uh,
Mhm.
no one else is getting the money because it was in Mel's basement, but as
Probably
far as
right
he's
along with the
concerned,
flamethrower.
yeah, as far as he's concerned, there's no need to search for more money, so it's going to be called Spaceballs, the new one, which is still accurate because
Yep.
it's a
Yep.
new
It's a new
Spaceballs
one.
movie.
Yeah.
So
It works.
with some new faces and also some familiar faces.
Faces,
So
yes.
CinemaCon was recent, and pretty much the entire cast showed up to
Yep.
talk about it. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yes.
But yeah, so next year, 2027, we'll be
Yay!
getting Spaceballs, the new
Yes. And I wonder if those two troopers are still out in the desert searching for stuff.
one. Well, supposedly one of them is coming back. Tim Russ,
Yay!
supposedly they brought Tim Russ back. So
Cool.
for those that don't know, Tim Russ is the one that when they're
Couldn't
combing the
find
desert,
stuff.
can't find shit. That's also Tuvok in Star Trek
Star Trek.
Voyager.
Yes.
So,
yes. What one of these things?
and if you ask him which role he gets talked to more about,
Is it an equal mix or is it more Spaceballs?
his long-running role in a Star Trek series, or his 5 seconds on screen where he goes, "We ain't found shit" in Spaceballs, you might be surprised at his answer. So we'll see. We will see. So.
How many hair picks has he signed? Has he autographed? That's the thing.
Yeah, really. Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Anyway, so there's that. So that's exciting. It's exciting because I mean, obviously, Spaceballs is awesome. We've talked about it. We've talked about Gold Standard. That's how awesome it is. And it's always fun to see Mel Brooks out and about being Mel Brooks, because that's how you live to be as old as he is, by finding joy in life. But it's also I know a lot of people, like the ones that people who went to CinemaCon, like everybody's just so excited to see Rick Moranis back out and about,
Oh yeah.
And promoting something. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a big deal.
Very big deal.
It is a big deal. So there's that. And then coming closer, or at least as far as, I don't know if we're gonna get episode by episode. I don't remember, so because I jumped on the train late last time, so I don't know how Apple does the series, if they'll drop it all at once or if they'll do episode by episode.
I can't remember. Or sometimes it's a mix where they'll, like Amazon Prime, where they'll drop a couple to begin with, and then it's like, okay, from here on out, you're one a week.
Yeah.
I can't remember, to tell you the truth.
And I don't think they've told us how many episodes we're getting yet. So
I don't think so.
It would just be pure speculation at this point. But we do know that at least the start of Ted Lasso season 4 will be August 5th.
Yee-hoo! Plenty of time for me to do a rewatch.
Yes. So
football is life.
So exciting. And the entire crew is back.
Yes. Oh, yes. And I'm sure it's going to be represented by the letter F. for a certain someone. Or from a certain someone.
Yeah.
Diamond Dogs, here we come back. Yay!
Yep.
Yes.
But that's very exciting.
Yes.
Oh, and then coming up much sooner, like a couple weeks from now. And it would be
a certain father-son pairing, or father-creature pairing.
Yeah, it's just like, it figures, like, we ended up delaying recording by a day.
Mm-hmm.
And usually when we record, like a trailer or something will drop like the next day. We delay recording by a day this last episode. So we record on Tuesday. What drops on Wednesday? The trailer for Good Omens.
It never fails. Never fails.
I mean, I'm glad we finally got it.
Yeah, me too.
I may have been crying a little and watched it 5 times in a row. Just because I'm so happy that these two idiots are back together.
Right.
To watch them.
Yeah.
It's like, I know that this is not, are we gonna get a happy ending? That's probably relative. Considering. But
and then definition of happy.
Yeah, but just I mean, it's like Aziraphale and Crowley are just they're iconic characters to begin
They're an
with.
OTP.
And they're an OTP. They're ineffable idiots. They're ineffable husbands.
Uh-huh. We love them for it.
Where you like to hang out on the internet.
Yep.
AO3. But then David and Michael just have such good chemistry. I mean, they both embody these characters so
scripted
well.
or unscripted? I mean, come on.
And then their chemistry together is just so good.
Yes.
George has admitted basically pretty much that Martin, work husband.
Yeah.
David, Martin's work husband. Yeah, that's it. End of
Yeah.
story.
It's like David Tennant, Georgia's actual, is David and Georgia legally husband and wife.
Yeah.
David and Michael,
yeah, sorry.
work husbands.
Work
Georgia's as bonus work spouse.
Right, yeah.
Which what that makes her and Anna, I have no idea. So, and by the way,
partners?
yes.
Yeah,
the
those are our
keepers
husbands.
of the bail money, probably.
Probably, yeah. Those are our husbands. We love them as much as we want to kill them.
Yeah. Georgia and Anna, bless you both.
Yes.
You both deserve wives and mothers of the century.
Of the awards, yes. Thank you for keeping them safe and sane.
Yes.
As much as you can.
So, which, by the way, if you're not following, because Michael he was on Twitter there for a while. I left Twitter, so I have no idea. Both Georgia and Anna post on Instagram fairly regularly. Georgia more. But Anna posted recently, obviously after the fact, after it already happened, because it's safer that way. But over the Easter holidays, she and Michael took their kids to Disneyland Paris. And it's wild to see them like standing in line for stuff, and it's just like, oh, there's Michael Sheen. Yeah. Waiting in line to meet like Mickey Mouse or something. They got 2 little girls, and of course, aww, Disneyland Paris has the whole Arendelle section that just opened up. So of course their little girls were all like, yeah.
I'm Anna, no, I'm Elsa. No,
yeah. And Michael is just like, oh, this is my life. This is what I get for having girls. So, but it's pretty hilarious. If I had been there, I'd been like, I think that's Anna and Michael. They've got 2 little girls, and there's a frozen land here. Yeah, I wouldn't have bothered him. I would just have laughed at Michael and be like, "Did you get Shane?" So, oh my, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm happy. I'm scared of what's going to happen, but it looks like it's going to be one hell of a time. So, and I was right. The kid in the elevator is Jesus. Apparently, Jesus and the Book of the Dead have gone missing, which that does not mean that stuff's not going to happen at all.
No, not at all.
Not at all. So there is that. Speaking of gold standard, our latest episode in the feeds is a movie I brought to the table and talked a lot about it. Really, there's way more to talk about now that we're almost 15 years removed from said movie, and have a lot more of the universe built up since then. But we could talk about the Battle of New York with the Avengers.
Ooh, nice.
The first time
I'm honestly surprised.
Mightiest heroes gathered together.
Just Mother doth know you're wearing her drapes.
Her drapes. How many times do I use that Captain America gif? I understood that. I understood that reference.
Oh, me too. Me too. I mean, whenever it's on one of the like TBS, TNT, FX, or whatever, it's just like, okay, I'm tossing it on for background noise. It's just some of those, the Avengers, the Captain America ones. It's like sometimes Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, if they're on, yep. But if it's 3, yeah, I mean it's good, but I skip it just for some of the stuff that happens.
Yeah.
To some characters, poor Rocket.
Yeah, yeah, but really, just any MCU movie of like, oh, look, it's a Marvel movie. Okay, well, this is to stay on.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yep, I'll help boost your ratings. Yep. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Yep. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I was very excited. I may have cried a little as well, being able to. I haven't I watch it all the time, but I haven't had a chance to talk about it in a while, and not since Infinity War and Endgame. So when you take the OG Avengers, the six we get in the Battle of New York, and then you go to Endgame and see everything come full circle, it's like,
Oh yeah,
it's a wild ride.
Wow. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Could not say enough good things about it. And did I gush over Clark Gregg? Of course I did.
Of course you did. We would be very disappointed if you didn't.
I know. I'd be disappointed in myself.
Yeah. Rachel, are you feeling all right?
Pretty much.
Are you sure you didn't get overtaken by a certain scroll?
Yeah, it's like, if you've been replaced by a scroll, and it's like blink twice if you need help.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, so there is that in the feeds. And this month's gold standard Patreon is going to get in at the very last minute. So just FYI. But it will be in the feeds before it hits May 1st, at least in this part of the world. Won't be for Nick, but for those of us in the United States, it should get in before the end of the month. So. All right. Moving on.
You gotta love time zones.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Right.
I mean, Nick lives pretty much on U.S. time anyway, so.
Right. Yes.
Moving on to feedback. We got some feedback from Shalane. She starts out saying, I was just kidding about watching every Best Picture winner to celebrate 100 years of the Oscars. I'll just do one Best Picture winner per month. That's probably more reasonable. So good thought. I'm just saying it could be done if you had nothing else to do. But I know Shalane, and I know that she does have some semblance of a life. So, don't lose, socializing with your friends and family for the sake of watching stuff. So, and then jumping to, excuse me, some gold standard feedback. She says this is your first because we did Stranger in Fiction. She says it's your first Will Ferrell movie. What's next? Elf, the Lego Movie, Megamind, Talladega Nights, Barbie. Well, I think we should do Barbie at some point. So the Lego Movie is really good too.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, yeah.
Elf, not so much.
I still actually never really seen Elf.
Yeah. I've seen it. It's decent.
Yeah.
Talladega Nights. Are there other Christmas movies I'd watch before Elf? Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it does have
it does have Bob Newhart.
Yes, thank you. I was blanking on Bob Newhart thing. That's it does have Bob Newhart, so it is worth the watch for that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I know the iconic moments. I mean, that's all you really need.
Yeah, really. Even I am like, oh my God, Santa, I know him. I say that. She says it's also your second Emma Thompson movie. What's next, Cruella? There's a lot of Emma Thompson out there. Third Queen Latifah movie after Hairspray in Chicago. What's next? Bringing Down the House with Steve Martin? Probably not.
That was an oldie but a goodie, but not up there on the Steve Martin scale of.
Yeah.
It was a decent movie.
Yeah. I mean, you put Steve Martin with Queen Latifah, that makes for some interesting chemistry. So
yes, it does. Yes,
we'll give you that.
Yeah.
And I do have to correct your comment here, Shalane, because this was not our first Dustin Hoffman movie, because we did do Kramer versus Kramer. and Rain Man. So we've actually done 2 Dustin Hoff movies on Gold Standard. So, but those were Best Picture winners. This was more of a fun-ish movie. So yeah, maybe we should do something like Hook. Going back to Shrek, it was the second Shrek movie where Shrek turned into a good-looking human guy. Yeah. I remember the first one and the best, and then like I vaguely remember parts of the second, and then that was it. So, and going back to K-pop, Demon Hunters being either the next Frozen Trolls or Sing. I think it's the next Barbie or the next Sailor Moon. I mean, there's nothing wrong with any of those, honestly.
No.
So.
No. I would not mind more K-pop Demon Hunters. I need more Derpy too. Right?
Going back to Lin-Manuel Miranda, who's going to be Disney legend, even though he hasn't gotten an EGOT yet. Elton John became a Disney legend before he got an EGOT. See, maybe that's the magic. Maybe that's what Lin-Manuel needs.
Maybe that's the missing puzzle piece in order to get said.
Maybe
EGOT.
I mean, before you know it, award season's going to start over. Start up again. So
yeah.
We shall see.
Yes.
Then speaking of Gold Standard, Rachel picks The Avengers. It's your guys' first superhero movie, first MCU movie, and first Joss Whedon movie to talk about on Gold Standard. What's next? Deadpool, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy. What's the next Joss Whedon movie? Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, Serenity, aka the Firefly movie. Prefer to talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV series. But...
yeah, I mean the movie. The movie.
It's very 90s.
The movie is very 90s, and it wasn't. It was somewhat Joss's vision, but the people who produced the movie had more say and more power to it. And then when he finally got the show, he kept some of the things from the movie and did his thing. Yeah. So yeah, the series that I wouldn't mind walking and talking and sitting through, because there's even a book that I'm slowly making my way through that covers stuff called Into Every Generation a Slayer is Born, How Buffy Staked Our Hearts by Evan Ross Katz, and it's been a very interesting read.
Nice.
Yes.
That sounds like it would be. I need to do a proper Buffy watch. That's one of those series where it's like I know the characters. I know like the major plot happenings. Like I know who dies. Right. I know who dies and stays dead. Who dies and doesn't stay dead. And all that. I just have not sat down and watched it in order.
Right. So. And then when they have the split between Angel and Buffy, it's just like, then you kind of have to start watching Angel, because sometimes they do have connecting two-parters. One visits one, and yeah. So yeah, if you help guidance, there are people to talk to, and you're talking to one of them.
Yeah, kind of like Star Trek.
Yes.
My younger sister will probably be another one. She is obsessed with Buffy.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice now too that Buffy and Angel is now under the Disney umbrella with Firefly, so it's easier to have access to, which wasn't the case beforehand. Because I still have my physical copies, and no, I am not parting with them.
Very smart.
If internet goes down, I have backup.
As long as you got power.
True.
So, and then she does what she does next, and talks about our actor streaks, who we've checked off, who is new, who's not, to the gold standard discussion, like Robert Downey Jr. after Oppenheimer, our second Chris Evans movie after Knives Out. What's next? A 2005 Fantastic Four? No.
we love him. But...
Those got touched upon in the discussion of the Avengers about how Chris had already dipped his toe into playing a superhero. But the less we talk about that version of the Fantastic Four, the better.
Uh-huh. I mean, at least
Although,
you can say you watched it, and yeah.
I mean, you do have a good Stanley cameos, so
Yes, they do.
I will give them that.
And I think it's better than that the middle one. I don't remember when that one came out. The one that was like in
the
between
one with
those.
Michael B. Jordan, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. No offense to Michael B. Jordan, Academy Award now winning actor Michael B. Jordan, but
Mhm.
yeah, that
Yeah.
that was the other third time's a charm that I missed mentioning when talking about the Avengers, when we were talking about Mark Ruffalo and how, you know, we'd already had two Bruce Banner / Hulks, only one of them is considered part of the MCU, and they just don't really acknowledge the fact that now Bruce Banner looks like Mark Ruffalo instead of Edward Norton.
Mhm.
But you know, he does, you know, obviously because the Abomination comes back, Thunderbolt Ross comes back, talks about breaking Harlem. That Hulk movie is part of the greater MCU when you just don't acknowledge the actor change, much like we did with Rhodey.
Yep.
But you know,
It's a
we're kind
cyclical
of a
pattern.
yeah, but it's like, you know, it's the third Bruce / Hulk. We're on our third Spider-Man after Toby and
True.
Andrew. Although, unlike with Mark Ruffalo, it's not an actor change. They're just different Spider-Man from different universes, but still, it's a third modern movie adaptation of Spider-Man with a different actor playing Peter Parker / Spider-Man with Tom Holland. And now we're on our third version of the Fantastic Four, and they finally got it right. So it's very much third time's the charm seems to be the case with the MCU.
Seriously.
When it comes to casting, in some cases. So, you know, some it's just like, you know, we talked about this too in the episodes. Like sometimes they just got it right off the bat, and you can't think of anybody else playing the role. Other times it took a few tries, and then you're like, yes, this is right. This is what we wanted.
Yes, this one can stay.
Yeah.
Well, they had like the
Don't
right
do
actor,
anything
this
to this
wrong
one.
movie, wrong role.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. That is the case sometimes too. But they says another Mark Ruffalo movie after Spotlight, which comparatively is a much more serious movie. She's like, what's that? Now you see me, you're 13 going on 30. Well, we already talked 13 going on 30 on this show, so I think we're good there. Samuel L. Jackson, after Jurassic Park, although his role in Jurassic Park isn't that big, but still. So probably your first Scarlett Johansson movie. What's next? We bought a zoo, Ghost in the Shell. I don't think anybody wants to talk about the Ghost in the Shell. So, your first Tom Hiddleston movie, and your second Jeremy Renner after The Hurt Locker. We should do Arrival. That's a good pick for a jury. You know, if we were looking to do stick with a specific actor. Arrival would be good. Arrival's just a really good movie though too. So, she speculates. Wonder if Zam would pick the Tim Burton Batman movies, and Nick would pick some superhero movies, even though he does a superhero podcast. I know you guys talked about the OG Star Wars and Indiana Jones movies. You know what? You just never know. So I had to ask Nick the question about if this movie isn't on the list already, it should be. And Nick was like, yes, you put that one on your list. I'm like, oh yay, good past me. Future me is happy.
Yes.
So
Future me could not remember what past me wrote down.
exactly.
Or where to find it.
So thankfully past me had her A game going at that moment. So when we'll get to said movie, don't know, but we will eventually.
It's on the list.
Yes. Now going on to the Hunger Games prequel. I read the book and enjoyed it. I haven't read the Songbird book because I think the prequel books are standalone. I think I'm going to see the movie when it comes out on digital. That's fair. We had some big announcements at CinemaCon in Las Vegas. I'm excited for the new Disney Animation Studios movie Hexed, where we get to see Haley Steinfeld and Rashida Jones. It's mother-daughter. It was supposed to be a mother and son story, but I think they thought it'd be better as a mother and daughter story. We'll find out more at D23 this summer. Yes, we will. Yeah, supposedly at CinemaCon. Word on the street. First footage of Doomsday has been shown to people.
Ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Nothing public yet.
Don't believe don't believe the fake trailer that's going around Facebook like somebody
there's a lot of
filmed it. That
either
is
fan
all AI.
There's either it's either AR or fan edits. So if it doesn't if it's not coming directly from the source or somebody directly connected with it, because I know RDJ has dropped some stuff on his official social media, so you know that it's legit,
right?
So, but if it's not coming from
him
proper
or
source,
Marvel itself, green
/ Disney or the Russo brothers, consider it fake until told otherwise.
Yes.
But we're all just chomping at the bit at this point. It's gonna be December, but at the same time, it's if we have to wait till D23 Expo, there won't be that long of a wait between that and Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Right. We're in between the gif of the white kitty with the paws going gimme and Stephen Colbert with the hand and gimme.
Yes.
That's where we're at this. At least me personally.
Yeah. And then she even mentions that we also had RDJ there for Avengers Doomsday panel, but no trailer up. Yep. Going back to Gold Standard, I'll be patient when you guys talk about weapons and sinners. One thing I'll say about Wonder Man, I didn't know you girls would talk about Wonder Man. Haha. We do try to keep up, even if it takes us a while to get there.
Mm-hmm.
We do get there eventually.
We do.
Then she follows up with another quick email and thing I forgot to mention. I did finally watch K-pop Demon Hunters and enjoyed it. Yay! I'm gonna try the McDonald's meals and let you know how they taste. You do that. The thing is, though, because someone in one of our chats said something about maybe Charles or somebody that said something about the Happy Meal, the Saja Boys Happy Meal.
Because there's a breakfast one with the Saja Boys. I think the advertisement girls themselves is the Happy Meal.
Is it?
That's for the regular lunch.
Yeah,
the boys
I just know
the
Charles
breakfast.
was all why are they hawking cheeseburgers when it's Korean? Because this is America, Charles. That's why. I don't remember if it was Charles. It could have been somebody else, but it seems like something Charles would point out. I think. It could have been Sean. I don't know. Because we got a lot of chats and a lot of the same people are in them.
Yeah. Well, what's kind of funny is my mom went through to get something for lunch one day, and they had accidentally made an extra one of the flurries, and they're just like, "Well, it's free for you. Don't Otherwise, we're gonna just toss them." I was like, "Okay." She liked it with the blueberries and that, so she gave it 2 thumbs up. So
that's good. Yeah, because I had only been. I think I don't know if it may have been an ad playing when I listened to podcasts or something, but it was just a audio ad I had been hearing fairly consistently of the Saja Boys promoting a breakfast meal. So when somebody in the chat talked about K-pop Demon Hunters and why are they hawking cheeseburgers and chicken nuggets when maybe it should be a bit more Korean.
They've got some ramen seasoning for shaker fries.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't know that they were doing a Happy Meal. I just knew they were doing the spicy breakfast with the Saja Boys. Yeah. So,
yeah. Well, and then supposedly,
I don't know how long. So
I've seen something like either Burger King or another fast food place, not McDonald's, is supposed to have something Grogu or Mandalorian related.
Yeah.
Burger King, yeah. I think. My sister sent me it.
Yeah.
I think it's Burger King. Oh.
I don't know. In general, I try to avoid fast food if I can help it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the occasional trip to Taco Bell. It's
There's
just something about a Crunchwrap Supreme that just hits the spot sometimes.
It just depends. Depending if there's cute toys involved.
That's true too.
But then there's the point where you can actually just pay for the toys. So
yeah, that's true too. So I mean, I did enjoy going into Infinity War and Endgame that they had like I've got a Black Panther and a someone else somewhere. I think they're at work, sitting on my desk.
Yeah. I've got a metal Doctor Strange popcorn tin.
Yeah.
And then I think I've got like a Guardians Galaxy 2, a nice, plastic drink cup.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, sure. Let us know what you think of it, Shalane. And she ends with Spaceballs. One more thing, I forgot the title for the sequel to Spaceballs. Not called Spaceballs 2. The Search for More Money, but Spaceballs is the new one. We got all-star cast and some of the OG cast coming back for this one. Can't wait to see what parodies from different movies we'll have, like MCU, Harry Potter, maybe Jurassic Park. One thing, we'll probably still won't have merch. I mentioned that in the chat, and now that Disney is the one that owns Lucas and therefore Star Wars, if they will be more lenient this time around with Mel doing merch.
Who knows? They might.
Comparatively to the first time when George was the one holding the rights to everything Star Wars, and Mel went to him and he's like, I want to do this parody. And George was like, that's fine, just don't release any action figures because I don't want them to get confused with the Star Wars ones. Which, that's fair. But it's been almost 40 years. And George doesn't own Star Wars anymore. So we might actually get some proper maybe action figures this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I wouldn't mind a yogurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm all for it. So we'll see.
Ooh, I wonder if they'll make a knockoff or some sort of that would rival BB-8. That would be interesting.
Maybe.
Oh my god.
Could you just see them and Dot trying to interact? That would be interesting.
I mean, they'll probably find some way to write out Dot because we don't have Joan Rivers anymore.
Joan Rivers anymore, yeah.
I mean, once Vespa got married, she didn't need the virginal arm anymore.
True.
So, what purpose could Dot Matrix serve?
Baby alarm?
Well, that's true.
Nanny?
Nanny, maybe. So, but it has been 40 years. So I'm sure it'd be easy way both Dot and Barf to be able to be like, well, it's been so long, and Barf was half dog, so his lifespan was probably not the same as it would be if he was a full human. So, so there's probably ways they're going to work around having those. The fact that those characters, the actors, aren't around anymore, so therefore we're not going to have those characters. But I mean, Star Wars has made buku on really cute droids, so I could totally see them finding something like a BB-8 or a Grogu type to fill some of those voids. So
Yogurt Junior.
So we'll see. In fact, that's how she finishes up. It's coming out next year to celebrate a big anniversary for the first Spaceballs. Yep, and Mel's 100th birthday. So, but before, thank you, Shalane, for your feedback as always.
Yes.
But speaking of anniversaries, this one is now this year. It's actually double anniversaries, both for the source material and the adaptation.
Ooh, cool.
So,
that doesn't happen very often where we get a double dip.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So, and I believe this is our first time dipping our toe into the Roald Dahl pond as far as discussing his books and or adaptations of them, I believe.
Did we cover Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
No,
or
we've not done that yet. The royal we on Gold Standard. We did do the witches.
Okay. Or maybe
okay.
we brought up Gene Wilder and somehow
probably
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
And we haven't talked Matilda yet.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So it has been brought up on podcasts, but no main episode proper. Okay.
Yeah, at least as far as this podcast is concerned.
Gotcha.
So, like I said, we did do the witches on Gold Standard. So, but yeah, we are talking about Roald Dahl's James and the Giant Peach. So, obviously Roald Dahl, famous British author of children's books, short stories, poet, all sorts of things. He was a pilot in the war during the war, and he's been called one of the greatest storytellers for children of the 20th century. And he has quite the resume when it comes to his writing. So it's not like we're going to be short for more stuff to talk about, now that we've kind of dipped our toes into these waters. But he's especially well known for his children's fiction. He usually written from the point of a child. Usually there's some sort of villain. The villain is usually an adult who hates children and mistreats children. But there's always at least one good adult or adult type figure. And a lot of that comes from the fact that Dahl grew up in boarding schools where the people in charge were not necessarily the nicest. Eventually he grew up to adult, got married, had kids of his own, and he liked to make up these, when he go to tell his kids bedtime stories, he made up these just fantastical stories, and eventually it's all like, hey, if you could write these down and maybe sell a few and maybe make some money, help support the family. Which he did. He was very protective of his works. I will say that, and that is going to come into this discussion, because he absolutely did not. However he wrote it is how it needed to be printed. And no one touch a single hair on the head of any of his beloved stories. And that was definitely his words, quote, were so much as it told his publishers to quote, so much as change a single comma in one of my books. Although actually he did in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which we can discuss this when we discuss it, in its adaptations, he did cave. I don't want to say cave. He recognized that there was a compromise. Yes, he recognized there was a compromise in his original description of the Oompa Loompas. But we can discuss that more when we talk about that particular book. But let's just say his original description of the Oompa Loompas would not pass muster. So he ended up making them way more fantastical, which made more sense for the type of books he wrote anyway. So but yeah, so in this case, this is James and the Giant Peach, was written in 1961. The first edition, published by Alfred Knopf, featured illustrations by Nancy Eckel Burkert. It's been reprinted with new illustrations over the years. And actually one of those versions later down the line, with illustrations done by Lane Smith would actually go on to be a conceptual designer on the film. So that was kind of cool. This particular book, Dahl dedicated it to his 6-year-old daughter Olivia and 4-year-old daughter Tessa. And unfortunately, actually, Olivia died a year after publication from complications of measles. So I think, having this book become fairly successful was probably a bittersweet reminder for him and his wife and the rest of his family. But, so yeah. But the general plot of the book is a young boy named James Henry Trotter, if you want to get very specific, becomes an orphan, has to loses his parents, and has to go live with his 2 aunts, Aunt Sponge and Aunt Spica, who are just the most awful human beings and treat him like he is less than, a crumb on the bottom of their shoe. And through a set of mysterious and strange circumstances involving a stranger giving him magic, he says they're alligator tongues, crocodile tongues. They're in the book, they're just called green wiggly things. They're green and they look kind of like crystals and they wiggle a lot. James ends up escaping his aunts inside a giant peach the size of a house, along with some human-sized anthropomorphized insects and bugs, and they have all sorts of adventures until they end up in New York City. So that is the Cliff Notes, very shortened synopsis. So originally it was going to be a cherry, and Dahl realized that a peach would be easier. It's prettier and bigger and squishier.
Yep.
So it's set in the late it starts in the late 1940s, and then goes into the early 1950s, because James is 4 when his parents in the book are eaten alive by a carnivorous raging rhinoceros that has escaped from the London Zoo. And so he has to end up co-living with his 2 aunts. After 3 years of living with his aunt, so he's now 7, he meets a man who gives him a bag of magical crystals, telling him that if he eats them or drinks them, then mysterious things will happen, but will change his life for the better. But unfortunately, James trips and falls on his way back to the house, and they spill all over the place. And next thing everybody knows, the peach tree that's been in his aunt's yard that has never actually grown anything grows a single peach that just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grows until it's the size of a house. And the aunts immediately see it as a moneymaker and start charging people to come look at it like it's the 8th wonder of the world. And in the meantime, they're still treating James just absolutely horrible. And after a successful day of people buying tickets to come and admire the giant peach, they send James out without any food or dinner or anything to go clean up all the rubbish that's been dropped in the yard. And he finds a hole in the peach, decides to climb in it because, his life really curiosity, because he's 7, and 2, it's it even climbing inside the peach gets him further away from his aunts. Safety. Like they'll never think to look in there for him.
Exactly.
So he climbs in, reaches the center where the pit is, the stone, and discovers that there is a small group of insects and bugs that are human-sized, that he quickly becomes friends with. There is the centipede, who he claims he has 100 legs when he only has 42. 42. It's the answer to life, the universe, and everything. So
Yep.
it's not. Except he's very obsessed with making sure that he gets his boots off and on, and can't do it all by himself. So even 21 pairs of shoes takes a while.
Yeah.
You
All
have
those laces.
you have the earthworm, male earthworm, who quarrels with Centipede quite a bit, is blind, and takes offense when somebody says, surely you can see, or says anything about seeing anything, even if they're just using, like, metaphorically.
Mm-hmm.
They don't mean it literally. He gets very offended. The fact, like, I can't see anything. He's also very obsessed with death, and is sure that he's going to die at any moment. There's the old green grasshopper, who is very much a gentleman. He's the oldest, and he's very cultured. Knows his classical music. You have Ladybug, who is an older maternal figure. You have Miss Spider, who's on
Mm-hmm.
the younger side, but she's also very good natured, and is very kind and takes care of James along with everybody else. You have the glowworm, who's essentially light for the beach,
Mm-hmm.
and the silkworm, who helps with Miss Spider when they need thread for things. Although in the 96 adaptation, Silkworm gets omitted as a character. But yeah, after James realizes that he's got these new friends, they manage to break the peach away from the tree, and goes rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling until it lands in the ocean. James being the level-headed one pretty much out of everybody, because everyone else is like, oh my god, we're gonna sink, we can't swim. James is like, we're floating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're
Wait,
not gonna
what?
sink. Well, how do you know? Because we've been
Oh,
floating in this water for like 5 minutes and we've not sunk. I think
right.
we're fine.
Yeah.
Common
If we've been
sense.
taking on water by now, yeah,
Yeah.
we'd be in trouble, but
Yeah,
we
even a
aren't yet,
slow
so we're
leak,
good.
we'd
Right.
probably notice.
Right.
So yeah, they're like, oh well, we're gonna say it. We're just gonna see where we go while sailing on this beach. Now in the book, when the peach gets broken free from the tree and makes its rolling escape from the aunt's yard to the ocean, the ants get squished by the peach and die. Um, Tear not. Nobody is crying over that. At first, the little gang is content with just bobbing along in the peach until sharks show up, and they are convinced that they are they're gonna eat the peach and then eat them. So James devises that they make rope with the thread provided from Miss Spider and the silkworm, and they harness 501 seagulls using the earthworm's bait, uh, and lasso all these seagulls, and wouldn't you know it, they take off.
Mm-hmm.
um so so as they're flying now, they get to learn more about each other, um and we learn all different personality traits and all sorts of things. um and eventually they come along and encounter the cloudmen, who are the creatures responsible for creating weather and all the stuff that goes with it, like hail and rainbows, so good and the bad. um and centipede has a big mouth. uh talks a lot of game, doesn't necessarily can back it up.
Right.
Ends up mocking and making fun of the Cloudmen, who start throwing things in retaliation. Their strings tied to the seagulls end up getting tangled up with the ropes that the Cloudmen use to hold up some of their work while they're working on it. And one of the Cloudmen end up on a seagull, and to get rid of him, they cut the seagull loose and it flies off of one of the Cloudmen. So the Cloud people have lost one of their own. So in retaliation, they throw paint, which lands on the centipede and dries so fast that he ends up a purple statue. Now all the friends are trying to figure out how to save Centipede so he's not frozen as a paint covered statue, and they're like, maybe we could scrape it off or break it off. And I think I forget who it is. It might have been Earthworm. I think Earthworm at one point says they can grab Centipede's tongue and pull really hard and turn him inside out.
Yeah, it's like, do we really want to be doing that and try that for an
like then he'll have new skin.
Yeah.
So, but thankfully, a silver lining. At the time that they're trying to figure out how to save Centipede, they end up in the line of the Cloudmen's faucets that they use to release rainwater, and they end up releasing a deluge of water, which washes away the paint. So, eventually dawn breaks and they look and realize that they have reached New York City, and they decide if they let loose the seagulls, slowly and deliberately, they'll just slowly descend and allow them to land, which is very smart, actually. It's James's idea. They're constantly looking to James for answers for everything, just because all these guys are just like, they're very reactive. They don't tend to think much. They just tend to react or panic. So James is the level-headed one, so they're constantly looking at James for answers. So the fact that the 7-year-old is like, well, the seagulls got us up, they can let us down if we do it, slowly and strategically. Unfortunately, there's these things even in the early 1950s called airplanes. And they happen to descend to a level that is a altitude that an airplane is flying at. So the plane comes through and shears all of the strings, sending the Peach plummeting to Earth. But thankfully, they do not smash themselves like, in the middle of Fifth Avenue or something. Instead, they land right on top of the Empire State Building like a giant kebab. Eventually, of course, it's being New York City. Everybody sees it. Everybody freaks out. James is like, no, we're not aliens. Or there's this whole bit with like the firemen, the policemen thinking that they're aliens from Mars. And they keep and it's really funny because instead of being like, oh, that thing looks like a grasshopper, it must be a grasshopper, or oh, that thing that looks like a centipede must be a centipede. They're using all of these names for other creatures that we've heard in other Dahl books. Like if you've read or watched, the Willy Wonka movie, and at one point Willy Wonka's, talking about, when he rescued the Oompa Loompas, they were being attacked by the winged noodles and vicious knits. It's names like that. The police and firemen are convinced that's what these creatures are. It's like, oh, it looks like a giant grasshopper. It must be a winged noodle. It's like, or it could just be a giant grasshopper. But James tells them the story of how he and his friends, rode a giant peach essentially from England to the United States, and everybody thinks that it's just the greatest thing ever. So the mayor ends up hosting a parade and any of the vehicles and parade floats behind the Peach are struggling to follow in a straight line because the peach juices, now that it's been impaled, is leaking everywhere. It's like the limousines are like sliding this way and that. And eventually little kids in the crowds watching the parade, they're like, James, can I have some of the peach? Can I have a taste? And he's like, absolutely, it's not going to keep forever. And so that's what they do, is they eat it until all that's left is the pit. They clean the pit up, put it in Central Park, and make it James's house, where he sits and tells his adventure, the story of his adventure over, to anybody who wants to listen, while the rest of his friends go on to have jobs. And they live happily ever after. As you should, because children having jobs, that's another thing that happens in Roald Dahl books.
Yep.
Here, James, you're going to live in a peach pit in Central Park and tell stories, and your anthropomorphized insect friends are going to have jobs as well. Oh, Charlie Bucket, you're like a 10-year-old kid. How would you like to run a chocolate factory? Yeah.
And I forgot, too, the mix of live action and animation.
Yes.
Because first in my mind, I thought it was completely animated. And it threw me for a loop when at first it starts live action. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. Now I remember.
Yeah. There was a television adaptation done in 1976 that was, I believe, just live action with just people wearing costumes. Very, very low budget. As it was done by the BBC. With, there's not much, a whole lot on that version. Other than there's a recognizable name in the cast list for that. Bernard Cribbins played the centipede.
Ooh.
In 1976.
No, track that down. Does it even exist anymore?
I have no idea, because it was a TV movie. So it appeared on BBC One, 28th of December, 1976. So I have no idea. Because Dahl, he got offers to have proper film versions done, and he declined just because he didn't think it was possible. And he's like, if you can't do it right, I'd rather you not do it at all. And then he, once he passed in 1990, his wife, or his widow, Felicity, was not so hard-nosed about not doing adaptations. Obviously he did, there were other adaptations done. Obviously we have the Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which is done in the 70s. But, this one, he was like, nobody can do it, so why bother? But his widow, Felicity, approved an offer to have a film adaptation produced in conjunction with Disney. Because there you go. So it was directed by Henry Selick, which actually this was only his second movie after doing The Nightmare Before Christmas, and produced by Denise Denovi and Tim Burton, which is why the stop motion animation looks very Tim Burton-esque. That's why there is a Jack Skellington as one of the pirates, dead pirates, and why the markings and colorings on Miss Spider specifically look very Tim Burton-esque. But yeah, it's a mix of live action and stop motion. First they were gonna do all stop motion and realized that would take too long and be too expensive, but they also knew all live action wouldn't be able to tell the story and have it look the way they wanted to without it being very, very expensive. So they you did a mix of the two. and has songs composed and written by Randy Newman, the same guy who gave us some music for Toy Story. And because it's stop motion, it takes so long that, you know, it took quite a while for this movie just to be produced. I think production took like 3 years or something like that. But ultimately, it did get released in April of 1996. Did not do well in the box office, but we'll talk about that. Overall, it's not a bad adaptation. It's fairly, I mean, it's definitely an authentic adaptation as far as the spirit of the story is concerned. You know, James is, you know, considered the saddest, loneliest little boy who ever lived. And that carries over into this. Obviously, the aunts are absolutely horrific people, played wonderfully,
Oh, yes.
though, by Miriam Margolyes, who actually she also does the voice of the glowworm, but the glowworm doesn't have a whole lot of lines. But she plays Aunt Sponge. Obviously, Miriam, for those of us that know a thing or two about Harry Potter, yeah, she knows how to play
Mm-hmm.
Professor Sprout.
Yep.
And then Joanna Lumley is Aunt Spiker, which Joanna Lumley is like, you know, a legend of British television.
Yes.
And she, for better or for worse, is really good about playing really terrible people. So sometimes they're terrible in an evil, like almost psychopathic way, like Aunt Spiker is.
Mhm.
But in other things, she's like awful because she is just like not the brightest crayon in the box, uh, to put it mildly. She's a fantastic actress. I mean, both of them just like they camp it up for this just to make them so outrageous and over the top because that's what you need with Roald Dahl. You know, his awful characters almost have to be like no one in real life would actually be like this. You
Right.
know?
Mhm.
You know, like Matilda's parents, they're awful too. My own recollection from the book, I can't recall anything like really over the top other than they just, you know, they just didn't seem to like Matilda because she was just like so different from them, you know, because she was kind and had manners, uh
Right.
and feelings for people, empathy. uh but then you look at someone like Miss Trunchbull though,
Mm-hmm.
who is like no one it seems like nobody in real life, you know, would like, you know, lock children in torture chambers, essentially, you know, an Iron Maiden of her own design, or, you know, to hold children by their ponytail and swing them around. It's like, nobody would do that in real life. Kind of, maybe not exactly like that, but there's some pretty awful people out there.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and I think Roald Dahl understood that. And that's why some of his characters are the way they are, especially the really bad ones are just so over the top because these are books written for children. And I think maybe, yeah, I'm not a psychologist or anything. You know, I like to gold standard. I'm like armchair psychologist. And I definitely don't know anything about children's psychology, and I don't necessarily know if Roald Dahl did either. But you know, if I was in his shoes and was writing books like this that maybe have some sort of like moral to them or some sort of something that maybe the children will walk away from by having these awful people be so awful that it's really that it probably makes it easier for the children to recognize that that person is bad and should not be doing those things to that other, you know, to that child.
Right.
Mhm.
Because when you look at more like, maybe not stuff written for kids, but maybe written for adults, sometimes abuse and things like that tends to be more subtle, which as an adult, you have the knowledge and the life experience to possibly still recognize that. But as a kid, you're not. You're not going to recognize like gaslighting or certain types of like emotional abuse as abuse. But having someone like Miss Trunchbull swing a kid around by their pigtails, or having Aunt Sponge and Aunt Spiker constantly calling James names, not bothering to use his actual name, but just constantly insulting him and not giving him food and things like that. Kids are going to be able to clock that a lot easier, I think, with their limited knowledge of how the world works. So that's just my guess, though. Which is nice that Sponge and Spiker get what's coming to them very early on in the book. In the movie, not so much. But and then you've got you got Paul Terry, who plays our young James, both in live action and in the stop motion, which Paul would go on to do like a short TV series a little later, and he walked away from acting, kind of like the kid who plays Charlie in the Gene Wilder, where it's like he just did that one role and just like, okay, that was fun, I'm gonna go get an education and be an adult now. And that's kind of what they've both done. So Matilda being one of a few exceptions, where she's gone on to have a decent career even as an actress even now. But then you have your voice cast for all of our bug friends. So we have Simon Callow as Mr. Grasshopper. You have Richard Dreyfuss as Mr. Centipede.
Perfect fit. I mean,
the second time Richard Dreyfuss,
Bob vibes.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say the second time Richard Dreyfuss has been in a movie where his character is antagonized by a shark.
That too. Yeah, we need a bigger boat.
Yeah. You have Jane Leaves. For anyone that watched Frasier, Daphne. She's the voice of Miss Ladybug. You have Susan Sarandon as Miss Spider, giving her an opportunity to use those singing pipes, something she's not necessarily done a whole lot, but we know she can carry a tune thanks to Rocky Horror, among other things. And then we have David Thewlis as Mr. Earthworm, another eventual Harry Potter alumni. Harry Potter didn't exist yet. We get our first book, a year after this came out?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
We wouldn't get the first movie for several years out until after that, though. But so yeah, that's quite the cast.
Yep.
And as I said, the overall like vibe is very, I think, loyal and faithful to the book. They do have some plot changes. I think a lot of it just came down to what they thought they could and couldn't accomplish doing the stop motion and how expensive it would be. Except for the mechanical shark, though. The mechanical shark is CGI.
Wow.
Yes. Something that this production crew really did not have any experience with up to this point. But they thought they'd give it the old college go because they didn't think of something they could necessarily do in stop motion and have it be convincing enough. But everything else is stop motion. Obviously, they use the same techniques. It's produced by Tim Burton. It's got Tim Burton's fingerprints all over it. So the same techniques as Nightmare Before Christmas, as far as, each character would have so many bodies, so many faces that they could use. to get the to match it up with the lines and the emotions and everything. But yeah, they did have to make some changes as far as plot points just to make the whole thing work. And I still think they make it work. I think even if the plot had happened the way it happens in this movie in the book, I think I would have been like, yeah, this sounds like something that would happen in a Roald Dahl book. So like the ants survive getting rolled over by the peach and they end up appearing in New York City at the end. James always, as opposed to in the book where they just kind of happen upon New York City, in the movie, James and his parents plan to go to New York City because, they've heard that it's such a wonderful city and they, there'll be lots of exciting things to see and visit and eat and, different new kids for James to meet and make friends and stuff like that. But then his parents are killed by the rhinoceros that is more not metaphorical, but not a literal rhino. It's more as if it was a literal rhino, they don't show it to us. It's more this kind of amorphic storm cloud that kind of looks and kind of sounds like a charging rhino. And I've seen somebody in their analysis of the movie say that the reason we see it like that is because James's young mind probably can't process a literal rhino. So to help with like the trauma of watching his parents be killed, it's become more this kind of metaphorical storm cloud type thing. But then we actually see him confront it later. So, but I think some of the stuff that happens is a manifestation of James's anxieties and trauma from everything that's happened to him. And it's by making this new family, this found family with these creatures, and doing, what his parents always told him to do is if you find yourself, in a pickle, look at it from a different point of view. And that's what he ultimately ends up having to do. But yeah, the cloud people completely gone. Instead, they Centipede, they're lost. And Centipede, up to a certain point, and claimed that he had traveled all over the world and visited all these amazing places and ate all these amazing foods and everything. And then we find out he's kind of a phony. And to make up for it, he's like, because they're like, we're lost, we're never gonna find our way to New York City, we need a compass. And Centipede was like, I can take care of that, because they're right at that point, they're stuck in like the Arctic or something, or the North Pole or something. And there's a lot of shipwrecks, and Centipede is like, haha. So he dives down into one of the shipwrecks, and that's where he encounters a pirate ship full of dead pirates, but the kind of captain looking one, where he finds the compass. Looks an awful lot like Jack Skellington. Which, hey, I'm sure they had a number of those heads and bodies sitting around not doing much of anything. So hey, why make new puppets when you can just repurpose ones you already have, especially when they're it's the same guy.
Makes sense.
Tim Burton's like, I can do whatever I want with my stuff. So it's like, it's my creation. I can play with that however I want.
And we don't have to worry about copyright infringement.
Exactly. So yeah, there's this whole thing with the pirate skeletons and Centipede getting the compass and everything. So we get that instead of the cloud people. Pardon me. Yeah, we get a few songs. We do have the gang eating the peach while also riding in it as their food source. Because once again, they're all like, I'm so hungry. What are we gonna do? We're gonna die of starvation. And James like, we're sitting on food. Like, they're like, but it's also all right. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we could take some bites out of this and it's not going to affect the structural integrity of our flying device anytime soon.
As long as we don't go gung-ho, we shall be fine.
Yep, and he was absolutely right. And whoops. So there is so yeah, so they get to know each other more and more. And then they reach right before they reach New York City, or as they're reaching New York City, they are attacked by the quote unquote rhinoceros. But James, with the help of his friends, confronts it. And so then they're safely over New York City, and they are but in the process, the Peach gets struck with lightning as opposed to the airplane coming through and shearing the threads. So they fall once again, spearing themselves on top of the Empire State Building. Which is really funny because James is like, he climbs out and he's got his map of New York that he and his parents constantly looked at. And he's like, well, this can't be right. Where's the Empire State Building? So he yells down to a cop. And he's like, where's the Empire State Building? And the cop's all like, you're on it, kid. Like, oh, okay. So he gets rescued by the firefighters. Sponge and Spiker show up. How? Because they show up covered in peach juice and their car smashed because they were in their car when the peach rolled over them. Yet they came from England and they're showing up in the heart of New York City just like they would have been when right after James and the Peach departed. I probably shouldn't ask questions. It's Roald Dahl. Don't ask logical questions. That has no use in these parts. Logic, what's that? But they try to they immediately, because they're surrounded by cops and firefighters and all these New Yorkers and stuff. They're immediately like, oh, we're just here to collect our nephew. We are his legal guardians, which for some reason one of them carries that legal document around in their pocket again, and also have a picture of them with the peach, proving that the peach belongs to them. And James is like, no, I don't want to go with you. You abused me. You didn't feed me. You were awful to me. And that immediately makes Sponge and Spiker drop the facades, and they try to attack him with the axe, the fireman axes. And thankfully his friends have now also descended from the top of the Empire State Building, and Miss Spider's more than happy to wrap Sponge and Spiker up in some webbing so that they can't speak or move or do anything. And all the little kids of New York City get to eat the peach again till all there's left is the pit. It gets moved to Central Park, turned into James's house, where he lives happily with his newfound family, while all of his friends find jobs. Mr. Centipede runs for the mayor of New York City and apparently wins. He is from Brooklyn, so why not? Miss Spider opens a nightclub.
Yep.
Mr. Earthworm becomes a mascot for a skincare company. Miss Ladybug becomes an obstetrician and delivers hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of babies. Mr. Grasshopper becomes a concert violinist. And the glowworm becomes the light and the torch for the Statue of Liberty.
That's my favorite of all of them for the for the happy endings.
Yeah. So very cute, very cute. And like I said, for it diverting, I don't think it's a bad adaptation. I think what they did to make it work, as far as being able to bring it to screen, I think it's really I think it still works within the bigger vibes that is Roald Dahl and his his stories and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely better than the original draft that was written when Disney first just made the agreement with Dahl's widow. The guy that they wrote to hire the first draft was is an English television screenwriter and journalist, and his draft was slightly black and bizarre. It was very dark. Actually, it was just very, very dark, including the sharks actually being like disguised. I don't remember the exact description, but essentially they were schmotzies.
Ooh.
So instead, so
probably a very good change.
yeah. So but yeah, so this at least made it a bit more, not quite as sad and depressing as it could have been. So, and the aunts, they still get what's coming to them, and having it pay off at the end as opposed to early on in the adventure just kind of makes sense as far as like film is concerned, because it's like, obviously you want James and his friends to successfully get to New York City, but knowing that the odds are still out there, it could pop up and try to ruin James's attempt at getting a better life. Kind of adds a little something to it, and then for them to pop up and immediately try to do that, but then get their comeuppance. It's just it's just sprinkles on top of an already good Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't put the sprinkles on at the bottom of the glass; you put it on at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, at one point, Elvis Costello had showed interest in doing the music, but Disney was not interested in using Elvis Costello. They thought he was too weird.
Okay.
I mean, Elvis Costello, he was a little weird, but
He
I mean,
is, but
it's like, yeah, Elvis Costello, he's a little eccentric. His music can be a little weird. It's not like he's wearing Zevo or something.
right. I mean, it would seem like it would be a perfect match.
Or Zevon or whatever. So
Yeah. You know what I'm getting?
Yeah. Disney suggested Randy Newman, and Selleck, the director, didn't want to use Randy because he was already doing the music for Toy Story. It's like Pixar's already got him. Andy Partridge, the lead singer from the rock group Ecstasy, that is X, the letter X, the letter T, and the letter C.
Mm-hmm.
Had been hired, wrote 4 songs, and but then there ended up being creative differences, and because Disney wanted the copyright of the songs for perpetuity. So he ended up walking away, and by then Randy Newman was done doing his bit for Toy Story, and here he comes along and does his music. I mean, there's only 5 songs. There's My Name is James, which is the song that he sings to Miss Spider. That's the Life, Eating the Peach, Family, and Good News, which plays over the end credits. And Eating the Peach is and I believe that's the Life. A number of the lyrics actually come from the poems/songs that actually are in the book. Because like the ants like to speak poetry about how beautiful they think they are, which we hear at least we hear Sponge reciting the version for hers. But yeah, there's several times where one or another character, when speaking about either themselves or somebody else, would speak almost in like this poetry type way. So it was really easy to just pull those lyrics and, put them into the song, so that essentially the lyrics are Dahl's and the music is Randy Newman's. So Dahl's writing does not get lost in the process, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, it did not do well once it was released. I mean, it did open number 2 in the box office behind Primal Fear, which, okay. And it took in $7.5 million that weekend, stayed in the top 10 for the next 5 weeks before dropping to 11th place. It went on to gross almost $29 million in the United States and Canada, and $37.7 million worldwide, but its budget was $38 million.
Ooh.
So it just barely did not break even, which in the Hollywood's consideration, that is a bomb. It got released on VHS that October. It has since been digitally restored and released on a Blu-ray DVD combo pack that was released by Disney Home Studios Entertainment in 2010. It did get positive reviews when it was released, which is good. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a score of 91%.
Ooh.
Yeah. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, lists the film with an average score of 78 out of 100. And Cinema Score gives it an average rate of A- on an A+ to F scale. All things considered, it's like, it got nominated for various things, including best original musical or comedy score for Randy Newman at the Academy Awards. So, that's pretty good. And since then, there have been talks about maybe doing a remake. I don't know if it'll ever happen. If it's going to be a proper live action adaptation all the way back in 2016, Sam Mendes was supposedly in talks to direct, but then he switched to talking to Disney about doing the live action adaptation of Pinocchio, which then he would also drop out.
Jeez.
So,
sensing pattern here.
yes,
Right?
So, yeah. Well, I mean, they did eventually make the Pinocchio, but Robert Zemeckis directed it. So we'll see. Who knows? I think it would be interesting if they did a remake and actually made it more faithful to the book, like gave us the Cloud Men and everything. I think that could be really fun. Yeah, to see the battle between these characters on this floating peach with all these seagulls against these cloud men throwing things like paint buckets and turning on giant faucets in the sky that just let out deluges of water. And meanwhile, the snowmen or the cloudmen's wives are at home just trying to fry up snowballs for their, for supper for their husbands. All rackets going on outside. I think it'd be quite funny. And as long as they didn't sanitize it. That's the thing. The book that the version of the book I read, air quotes read, I listened to the audio version through Libby, so through my library, that is narrated what year? I forget what year it is. This particular adaptation that I listened to. If I can find like a proper link to it, I will. It is the version, because there's a number of audio versions out there as well. But the version that I listened to was there we go. Here we go. That I have borrowed. Oh, I don't want to see all of Roald Dahl's. I just want to see the version that I did. Okay, here we go. Does this tell me what year this is from? 2004. Okay, so this is it's unabridged, published by HarperCollins, done by Harper Audio, from early 2004. It's narrated by Jeremy Irons.
Oh, cool. Interesting.
But it is not the censored version.
Okay.
So the stuff that they have changed it's been earlier than that. It's 2023 with Puffin Books, which is the children's imprint of Penguin Books, decided they needed to sanitize a number of Dahl's books among other things. So in their words, to expurgate what they deem derogatory words and passages. Of course, a publisher would use big words. To get rid of what they deem derogatory words and passages, which they supposedly worked with an association called Inclusive Minds, which is a collective that promotes accessibility and inclusivity. Like I said, there's some things, like his original description of the Oompa Loompas, I can understand. Which that was actually done by Dahl himself. But some of the changes made, not just in this book, but a lot of Dahl's, it's like, really? Like, you really think somebody is going to somehow mistake saying, if somebody is suddenly scared, saying their face turned white with horror is somehow racist or something? Like, that's just a turn of phrase. Like, all the blood, like, you're so scared, like all the blood has rushed from your face and it's lost all color.
Right.
And it's not like your skin can turn clear. It's like, even if you were talking about somebody whose skin color is something not white, if you're talking about a moment where somebody's like blood rushes from their face, they're still like, the color of their skin is going to be like very muted.
Right.
Yep.
So it's like, you're getting a bit too like in the weeds there. So, and things like the Cloud Men, they changed it to Cloud People. And like, when they get to New York City, it's not policemen and firemen, it's police people, fire people, you know? It's like, okay, all right. Again, I think some are kind of understandable, like using the word queer to mean strange. Obviously, that was more common quite a while ago. Obviously, now when people hear that word, the usage of it means something else. Essentially, the word has changed meaning, and therefore the context and its use doesn't make sense anymore. That I can understand. But some of them, I'm just like, yeah, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Oh, yeah, like the original text about the cloud people, yeah, the cloud society. Originally, it said there were caves everywhere, running into the cloud, and at the entrances of the caves, the cloudsmen's wives were crouching over little stoves with frying pans in their hands, frying snowballs for their husbands' suppers. Then they changed it to, there were houses everywhere, running into the cloud.
Oh boy.
Yep. Yeah. So, like, you want the ghost of Roald Dahl to haunt you? This is how you get it. So, at least in this book's particular case, if you want to read and or listen to an audio version the way that Dahl intended, get a copy from before 2023. So, which, I mean, the properly released audiobooks out there all are. So, like I said, Jeremy Irons, that's from 2003, 2004. And there was a charity reading done during the pandemic, led by Taika Waititi. And he worked with the Roald Dahl Story Company to publish an audiovisual reading of this particular book. And along with Taika Waititi, it included people like Meryl Streep, Lupita Nyong'o, and Cate Blanchett. So that's cool. No, I have no idea if it is. I mean, I guess that was 2020, so it's still pre-censorship, so it should be the original version, as Dahl wrote it. So got that going for us, which is good. But yeah, there's also the musical, the stage musical, which premiered in 2010. Is done quite a bit in regional and youth theater, and it has number. Of course, it's a musical, full-on musical, so it's got lots of song and dance numbers. None of the songs that appear in the 96 version are in the stage version. So if you go on YouTube, you can find video of various like children's, like high school or junior productions, regional productions. So see how they adapted it. But yeah, that is James and the Giant Peach. You guys got anything?
If you haven't seen it, give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
And it is on Disney Plus. That should not be a
Yes,
surprise.
it is.
It was the 96 version. It was originally Disney to begin with, so
Yep.
they got it. They own it. It's on Disney Plus. So, and it's an easy watch. I had it going while I was folding laundry. It's like slightly over an hour long. The runtime. It's like 73 minutes long or something like that. It's fast. But it made for fun, to have it going while I was, pairing socks together. So, for a little over an hour. So, it's some of the music's kind of catchy, actually. I mean, it's Randy Newman. It's the man oozes catchy.
Yes, he does.
There's not a whole lot to you can't really complain about that. That's what Randy Newman does. So, but yeah, that's our first Roald Dahl book and adaptation. But there's more where that came from.
Yep.
Like I said, the man wrote quite a lot.
He sure did.
So there's not and a lot of these have been adapted at least once, if not a few times. Like I said, we've got the book is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Obviously, the Gene Wilder movie is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and then the version with Johnny Depp, they go back to calling it Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So we got two adaptations right there. You got Fantastic
And then did
Mr.
we have
Fox.
Wonka?
Yes, and then we have Wonka. Wonka was a prequel, but
okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's taking what Dahl wrote and expounding upon it to give us a prequel. So, which from what I understand, is actually pretty good. I just haven't seen it.
Same. And I thought I heard something about there's like a Netflix thing coming up that's kind of like Charlie versus Wonka or something like that.
I haven't heard that.
I
mean, I know that they did adapt it into a stage musical that did okay,
Mm.
but it wasn't a huge hit. But yeah. So you got that. You got Fantastic Mr. Fox, which
Yep.
they did several years ago, which I believe
Big Friendly Giant, or
I believe
BFG.
George
Mhm.
Clooney plays Mr. Fox, I believe, the voice.
I think so. Yep.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
So yeah, we got the BFG. There's a couple adaptations of The Witches.
Yep. One with Angelica Houston.
Mm-hmm. And then the slightly newer version, Matilda, which of course we've got, the version with Danny DeVito.
Mm-hmm.
And Mara Wilson,
Yes.
and then the musical, which there's the musical, and then there's the film adaptation of the musical from 2022, which there's some really catchy songs in the musical as well. Revolting Children gets stuck in my head every once in a while, and I'm just like, I'm kind of here for it. So yeah, there's we got quite a bit of Roald Dahl to discuss. Sweet. All right. Well, if any of our listeners want to send in their thoughts or opinions about James and the Giant Peach, Roald Dahl, or anything else we've discussed, you can send feedback. Email is fivishfangirls@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, which is the fivishfangirls.com, where you can connect with all of our podcast related social media accounts and our individual ones as well, which I highly recommend doing, because as we're recording this, Indie PopCon is not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. First, be the second weekend of May. So, and all sorts of shenanigans, I'm sure, are going to occur. Should be fun. And of course, also linked on our website are ways to financially support us if you are so inclined. Of course, always welcome, never expected. And also things like the book club over on Goodreads. So every month we discuss a Doctor Who book or Big Finish audio, and we got a new fresh discussion every month, but older discussions are always open for you to go back to if you so wish. And I think that's about all we got. As I mentioned on our last episode, we are doing recording schedule's a little funky as I take on some extra work to pad the old bank account before I'm off for the summer and not getting paid at all. No kids in the building, no one for me to take attendance of. So, and summer school's small enough they don't need me. So there's that. So we will be off next week. But then we'll be back after PopCon. So I'll muster up the energy from PopCon and downtown Indianapolis just being a big old mess. And I'll have my PopCon recap for you all. But for now, we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany Bangle saying goodnight.
This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Why don't skeletons play music in church? Because they got no organs! Thank you, our Fiveish fam, for joining us on this week's geeky journey. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Stay connected with us on our website, thefivishfangirls.com, and follow us on most social media with @FivishFangirls. Plus, check out our nonprofit, Fangirls Give Back, to see how we're making a positive impact in our community. Until next time, stay nerdy and let the squee continue.